Welcome to the Rockstar Principles Podcast, coming straight to you from Rock and Roll, USA, covering the latest and greatest in educational leadership trends, news, and awesomeness for principals all over the world. Now, here are your hosts, the boss, John Ross, and the Doctor of Proctors, Nick Indeglio.
All right, rock stars, we have returned. Whoa! It's almost New Year's. You know, the 2013 year is coming to a close. We're getting ready to welcome 2014. It's going to be especially interesting this year as for New Year's, the two rock stars will be celebrating together with our families, having a New Year's bash. Hundreds of thousands of people will be attending.
Really?
No.
Wait, this is at your house, right?
Just us hanging out. I'm contemplating a bottle of Goldschlager. What do you think? Can you handle that?
I'm not going to comment at all.
It's New Year's. Come on.
Prefer not to comment one way or the other. I do not partake in the consumption of alcoholic beverages. You don't hear the ice, do you?
I will tell you one of the ingredients in that drink. It's Pepsi. That's all that's in there. There's no alcohol.
Oh, and the drink I just held up to the microphone?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Pepsi. That's just Pepsi.
Just Pepsi.
So getting back to what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
The year in review of 2013, looking back on the year, before we even start, we have to go with us. The Rockstar Principles Podcast. I mean, This is something we started in September. Man. September. We're not even 4 months old.
No,
We've
we're
got
babies.
1,300 followers on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Over 5,000 downloads of our podcast.
Over 5,500.
5,500. 49 of the 50 states. 6 continents that people have at least listened to at least one of our podcasts.
Yep. 21 countries.
That's huge for us.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's awesome. I think that's great. So here's to you. Here's to you, my friend.
With our non-alcoholic drinks.
Sure. So, that's a big thing for us in terms of just starting this podcast, this whole idea.
And it wouldn't be possible without all of you.
That's right.
No, it's actually not true at all. We could sit here with a microphone and a computer.
We would anyway. I think that's really what started the whole thing was we were doing this already, and we said, we might as well record it and see what happens.
Yep.
Yeah,
we initially had no expectations.
But getting back into a more global sense in terms of education, what did you find there as some of the trends? Was that on CNN?
Yeah, I used CNN. We were digging around a lot of different sites, and there's a whole bunch, in terms of year in review. But I thought one of the technology years in review was interesting in terms of what 2013 will be remembered for as time goes on. There are 3 things that came to light for the technology piece. One was the release of iOS 7 for the iPhone platform. 2 was the introduction of Vine. Mm-hmm. And for those of you who aren't familiar, Vine is the quick, was it 5 seconds?
No, it's. I think it's longer than that. Isn't
Instagram
the 5-second one, and
I think
Vine
it's switched.
was the other way around.
Instagram's
that's
like
right.
15 seconds.
Yeah, Vine's a short one. Instagram's longer.
Yeah, you take the quick video and then it just loops and repeats, but you can only have 6 seconds. And
someday we'll get up the nerve to start a Vine or Instagram for the Rockstar Principles.
Yes, so we'll bat that. Obviously,
that needs to happen.
Has dominated Vine.
That's true. We did talk about that.
And finally, Snapchat, which interestingly, when we became aware of Snapchat during the summertime, John and I went crazy with it. His daughter Natalie showed it to us, and we thought it was the most awesome thing ever. Later, we realized that in the education world for our kids, it originally kind of started as a way to sext and send naked pictures and do things that kids...
You're not making me more comfortable knowing that my daughter introduced this to us.
Well, I'm getting to the good part in a second.
Okay.
But no, in all seriousness, since immediately after watching your Snapchat video, it's gone forever. Yeah. So unless you're fast enough to capture a screenshot... Which isn't
necessarily true.
No, it's not.
We're finding out. Yeah.
It was used for nefarious purposes, right. But actually it's now evolving, and they're saying it could become a challenger to Facebook for the younger generations because of the more intimate connection, and that it's still a very quick, just like Vine. I think you get up to 7 seconds, maybe, or 9 seconds, where you can communicate with someone. So those are the three things that they're talking about through technology. And in our world of BYOD and connectivity as educators and principals, it's interesting.
Very interesting.
I don't know that man, we've gosh.
You said everything there was to say. What more can we say about iOS 7? I mean, that you love it, like it or hate it,
right.
It's here, and I think they've worked a lot of the bugs out about it. But Vine and Snapchat, I mean, it's, I'm starting to feel older and older every day. What do they think of next? What are they going to think of next? I just, as we were sitting here recording, I was just talking to Nick about an article that I found on Twitter that popped up on Twitter about Facebook and about how Facebook, in terms of use by kids, teens, is becoming antiquated.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a thing of the past, and how kids are moving away from it. And Nick thought of all these great reasons why kids were moving away from it in terms of Vine and Instagram and Snapchat and all they can do. And I said, I'm trying to find it now. Obviously, I didn't bookmark the article, so I can't find it. About it in the article, believe it or not, the reason that kids are moving away from use of Facebook is their parents are now on Facebook. So kids, it's no longer cool, obviously, once parents start doing it. So, and grandparents and, older. The kids aren't into it as much. So, we'll have to see whether or not Facebook's still here a year from now. But it's certainly lost some of its luster, and Twitter is just kicking the heck out of it right now. Twitter's blowing up in terms of its growth, both economically and its reach on the interwebs as well. But how about more specifically some of the things you found in terms of the bigger issues this year in education? Yeah,
we're going to talk about, with CNN again, Kelly Wallace, who writes and records for CNN and many other publications. You can find her at Kelly, Kelly, Wallace TV on Twitter. And she talked about, many things, but 4 that I thought were relevant for the podcast. We'll do one by one. First, stressed out teens. 40% of parents are saying that their kids are stressed out. Social media is making it harder to unplug. Parents are contributing to their kids' stress because they can't cope with their own stress. And a lot of the suggestions from therapists and schools and self-help gurus is quiet time and mindfulness. So that's the first.
And I'm going to say, as the parent of a teenager, I'm allowed to say this. I think a lot of that is created by parents in their minds. Like, it's not really there. Mm-hmm. A lot of parents say their kids are so stressed, and it's just because, at least from my perspective, teenagers are learning how to deal with the emotion of stress. It's a new feeling for many of them. Stress is not necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
Stress moves you to action quite frequently.
Yep.
So when I hear from parents saying their kids are under so much stress and it's more stressful than when we were kids, I just don't buy it. I think it's the same. I just think parents might be a little more connected with their kids' feelings or care a little bit more about their kids' feelings. I'm not saying that's good or bad, but I don't know. I think kids are stressed, but I don't think it's necessarily bad, and I don't think it's nearly to the extent that parents, just because parents are reporting that their kids are stressed, doesn't mean their kids are stressed.
It's an overreaction on the parents' part, but on the kids' part, what I will say is, I think the hyper acceleration of technology does make it more stressful. Mm-hmm. However, it's our inability as the adults to understand it and keep up with it that makes it more difficult for us. Bottom line, when we were kids, right? If you and I had a disagreement on the playground, we would beat the crap out of each other.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you would beat the crap out of me, but go ahead.
Regardless, however that would play out. And if it couldn't be settled that way, my mom would maybe call your mom or vice versa, or our dads would have a beer and talk about it.
Right.
That's how things were for multiple generations. Mm-hmm. We're past that now. Parents sincerely don't know what to do when they're dealing with Facebook, Vine, Instagram, Ask FM. You name it, they're out there. And they don't have these mechanisms to do that anymore. With FERPA nowadays,
right.
The fact that neighborhoods aren't neighborhoods anymore. And you know, we could walk across the street and hang out when we were kids, whereas today we have to drive, you know, 4, 5, 10, maybe more miles to have our kids, you know, for organized social play dates.
Right.
So I do think it's harder for parents.
It's only harder for parents in that they have to deal with that, and they're reluctant to cut it off.
Okay. Yeah.
What I fail to understand is how many parents bring issues to us in terms of Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and everything, and their kids are still on there.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I say to them, your child is going on here every day getting exposed to this, and you're not doing anything to cut that off. And their response is, well, why should my kid be punished? I'm not saying ban your kid off of Facebook for the rest of their lives. I'm saying get them off of there,
right,
until we can, you know, get our hands around this and figure out what's going on. So I think when you talk about that kind of stress in terms of social media, again, I think we're at fault. I think we're to blame, and I say we because I'm the parent of a teenager, and I see the stress that I see both at home and at school. That I think is more the legitimate stress is that I think kids are much more connected about their future. Yeah, that they think at a much earlier age about their future than maybe what happened, at least what I did and what my friends did. I don't know, maybe it was just me and my goofy friends when I was in middle school. But when I see the things that middle school kids are doing now, both in terms of just the amazement that I have for how talented they are, but also how driven / stressed out they are in terms of thinking already about, well, if I don't do this now, I'm in 7th grade. If I don't do this now, this might hurt my chances of getting into the college that I want to get into. And I think, holy cow, like that's starting a lot earlier than when it used to start.
Absolutely. Before we get off of this, I want to bring up another point based on the parents' reluctance to cut things off. And it also ties into parents not being able to keep up with what technology has evolved to. And it also, believe it or not, ties into one of the big things of 2013, which is interesting. Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, I got this game for my birthday. It was a Christmas miracle. My birthday is right around Christmas. I'm a big fan of the Grand Theft Auto series. I'm also 38 years old, so let's preface it with that. This game is uber violent, uber sexualized, uber stereotyped, super intelligent, but it basically plays at about 8 different levels of intellectual and mindlessness all at the same time. Right. It is not appropriate for anyone under the age of 25. Yeah. Super, super, super inappropriate. Now, had a parent last week, and I know we talked about this. I don't think we talked about it on the podcast. Who we suspended their kid for a pretty serious offense. They were saying some things that were way outside what a middle schooler should be exposed to. And the parent told me that after I kind of confronted the parents with the fact that this kid has the game Grand Theft Auto 5 and the kid's 13 years old and is playing it regularly, and the parent confessed that, you know, all the parents in the neighborhood are allowing the kids to have this game and they don't know what to do, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. To a degree, I understand the parents not having a full grasp on how big and thorough these games are. They remember games like Pong and Pac-Man. Right. They can't comprehend that these games are existing in a world that is... You
mean beyond the rating that's on the box?
Beyond the rating that's on the game.
When they buy the game that says mature 18 plus in the corner.
And let me set the stage for what I mean by that, because I think this is telling for even us, because I was shocked by it. Grand Theft Auto 5 is set in a basically a parallel world to California in Los Angeles. The entire city of Los Angeles you play in the game. All of it. Every alley, every street, everything. Right. It expands bigger than that to almost the whole state of California. The game is so big, you have to fly in a plane to get from one side of the game to the other. Right. Rockstar Games has been developing the game since 2007. They had an entire studio, which means more than 100 programmers developing, writing, producing, making the game. It cost $225 million to make this game. In the first day of release, the game made, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
The first day of release, $800 million. Within the first month, within the first week, it passed the $1 billion mark.
That's crazy.
In 1 month, from September to October, from the first month of release, it outsold the entire global music industry.
That's unbelievable.
So you think of the scope of a major motion picture, what that costs,
right.
how thorough those movies, how big those movies are. That's how big this game is. It's bigger. You can't even imagine the world that's happening inside of these games, and obviously how popular it is. So it's infiltrated us at every level. I was driving in traffic a couple days ago, and my mind switched to the game, and I wanted to get out of the car.
Don't tell me that.
Pull open a driver's door, pull someone out, punch them, and then steal their car, and then start crashing cars.
Yeah.
Like it's just, anyway, it's crazy, and I can understand why parents don't get it to a degree, but at the same time, you got to do something to get up on what's going on out there.
The whole time you're talking about this, I'm just thinking about how it's parenting. It just comes down to parenting, and it's not that our parents were better at it. It's not that any generation's been better at it. It's not that any generation had it tougher than any other. It just, to me, comes down to simple connecting with your children, recognizing that you're going to make mistakes. You're not always going to make the right call, but that you can't let up for a second. And parents couldn't when we were kids. There were other things that we could have gotten involved in. It's similar to this. I can't stand when people try to make it like it's something about this generation, or granted, blaming stuff on games like that. If people put this game in the hands of their 12, 13, 14-year-old kid, and their 12 or 13, 14-year-old kids does something that can be attributed to their exposure to the game, it's not the game's fault. It's the parents' fault.
Correct.
That they did that.
Correct.
So people want to, go right to blaming games. The stuff that came out about Adam Lanza after Sandy Hook, and they put the pictures of he was playing Call of Duty and he was playing. That's malarkey to me.
It is.
That had everything to do with supervision. The fact that there were guns in that house. Now we're really digressing here, but that's not the gun's fault that kid did what he did. It's the lack of supervision. Those guns weren't secure. Those things,
Guns don't kill people.
And I'm not super Mr. NRA or anything, but I do believe in the idea that you have a responsibility as a parent, whether it's a weapon, whether it's a video game, whether it's the curfew you put on your kids, whatever it is, that you can't just wash your hands of it when your kids reach the age of 12, 13, 14 and think you're done. You're never done.
Especially not at the level that things have reached. If you're not paying attention to how extreme the game is, sit and watch it for 5 minutes.
But
whatever it takes.
And I'm saying when we were kids, it could have been who we were hanging out with.
Absolutely. Well, it would have been.
It's the same. Your kid is hanging out with the video game. Yeah. So if you would allow if your kid brought a friend home who was doing things similar to what's happening in this game in terms of just their use of profanity, in terms of the way they treat women, in terms of consumption of drugs or alcohol, or I don't play the game. Whatever. If your kid, but think of it like that. Yeah. Your kid brings a friend home that does those things. It's the same thing. So when we were kids, if we hung out with people that did that kind of stuff and our parents didn't know about it, it's the same thing as having, to me, it's the same thing at least, as your kid having a video game in which all those things are, loosely dealt with. And again, it's got a mature 18 and up on the cover. Yeah. So, it's just, this leads us to, I want to jump to the last one on your list there, because this is the big, huge issue from this year for me, just in terms of children and our responsibility for social media and the use of technology.
And it's a good one to end on, because it's a positive. And and Kelly flips the switch on the negativity of social media and brings the positives out. From a particular article partly titled "Selfies Aren't All Bad." And as you've probably heard by now, the Oxford Dictionaries has come out with their word of the year for 2013, and it's selfie. We've talked about selfies on the podcast before. We had an in-depth conversation about us, once again, being out of touch with what it means for kids these days and having to catch up. But here are the stats. 1 in 5 teens currently say that social media makes them more confident. So 20% of the kids say it makes them more confident. That's not to say 4 out of 5 teens are saying it hurts their confidence. It's just, it's a positive stat. 52% of teens says that social media helps their relationship with their friends. And if you think about the actual intent of social media, that is what it's intended to do. Teens are using social media more and more for the social good, for charitable things, and that ties into all the positives that have happened. And I know you want to talk about a specific commercial that...
Well, this jumped out at me, and hopefully by now everyone has seen the big holiday ad that Apple put out there about the kid. You know, you had to have seen it if you watched any television because it was all over television during the holiday. But the kid goes to the family gathering during the holiday, and his nose is in his iPhone the whole time. And when you first watch it the first time, I know I did, you thought, oh, okay, is this kid, he's enthralled with whatever's going on the internet or on Facebook or on social media, and he's not connecting with his family, and they're going to show somehow, somebody's going to reach him somehow. And it totally, backdoored, and it turned out that he was doing something for his family by making that video the whole time. And again, it goes back to me to the idea that this stuff is so important to kids. It's here. It's in their lives. The horse has left the barn. The entire stable has left the barn. We can't bring this back. People that think that, we need to tighten the reins and pull it back away from kids, you can't. You have to monitor it, yes. But we can't deny the fact that social media is a part of their lives. They're growing up with it. It's plain and simple. It's just like the telephone was when we were kids. It's there and it's not going away. So it can be used for good. It's frequently used for good. I see it. Nick sees it. People that all of us that are out on the front lines see the positive things that kids are doing with this kind of stuff. And I thought it was great. And I know it's Apple, and people have their issues with Apple, and I know they're doing it to make money, whatever you want to say about it. I think it's great to get the idea, the notion out there that kids are doing this kind of stuff for positive reasons. It's not necessarily a negative when you see a kid with their nose in a cell phone.
And the other part to that ad reinforces what we were just talking about, in that we as the adults watched that commercial and immediately assumed all the bad about cell phone use and social media and being absorbed by your phone, when what really was happening was the kid was fully engaged and doing something heartfelt for his family. The point I'm making, we didn't understand what the kid was doing, and no one in that commercial during the whole time of the commercial was happening took the time to ask a question about it.
What he was doing.
What he was doing. So everyone was assuming as well. It speaks to the whole thing of we have to get on board with this. We're the digital immigrants. They're the digital natives. They have to teach us.
And we got to stop having them power down when they enter our world. You know what I mean? When they come into the world that we share together, we have to stop telling them to power down, because it's like, providing a student with something and then taking it away. It's foreign to them, the idea. And I don't know. I digress, I guess. It's just very frustrating for me because I so strongly believe in the importance of monitored use of this technology. I'm not saying, free use, free reign, willy-nilly of it.
Right.
I'm just saying monitored use of this is the way of the future. I strongly believe that. And I know people have done BYOD stuff, and we're doing it, and it's had its hiccups and it's had its problems. But I believe the overriding number of people that are using it, the vast majority of people that are using it, are seeing its effectiveness, and how. And I actually saw an article as something I'm just bringing up to you. I wanted to talk to you about one of the big mistakes they're saying that districts are making is the whole idea of iPad carts.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
How technology needs to be one-to-one.
Right.
That kids need to have their hands on it, and it needs to be theirs, because the whole cart idea, and we've had this discussion about, getting things off of iTunes onto the carts and everything that's involved in that, and, other kids putting things on there and so on, all the negatives that if you had one-on-one where a kid had their own device and they were able to get comfortable with that device and have it at their hands whenever they needed it, just how much more effective, obviously, that's going to be. So I know that's the direction a lot of districts, whether it's through BYOD or other initiatives, to be able to purchase that kind of stuff. It's really, I really believe that's the wave of the future.
We're headed in that direction any way you look at it.
So 2014, hopefully that's what we're going to see. We're going to see more and more districts finding ways to get that technology. Hopefully the price will continue to come down, and it'll make it more fiscally responsible means for districts to do that. But it's really, really important.
And more and more people who are 38 years old playing Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, I haven't gone that far. I get into the Need for Speed. My son, my 12-year-old son, has the Need for Speed games, and I've played those with him on the Xbox. And I'm afraid what would happen if I had Grand Theft Auto in my house.
It's I can't even.
I mean, I have a 12-year-old son in the house. Yeah. You know, your girls are so small that you can put it up at the top of a bookshelf and they're not going to get it.
No, actually, Bella, I have to play with headphones.
Yeah,
I told you this.
You think? Yeah.
You think? I was playing on the TV upstairs, which is a decent sized TV, but the headphone cord's only 2 feet long, so I'm like 6 inches from the screen.
You're really engrossed in what's going on.
So Bella comes in as I was driving cars, and she's obsessed with red lights, yellow lights, and green lights, and she was insisting that I stop at the red lights. And
you were blown right through. She doesn't understand the idea.
So she wanted me to do that, and she wanted me to take the character to their house and change their clothes, because you could pick their outfits and stuff.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's about as clean as it gets in that game.
All right, well, there you have it. That's our little year in review. We had other stuff we wanted to talk about, but we spent too much time pontificating on a few of those issues. So, again, let us know what you thought about 2013. Any big issues you think we missed? And we're looking forward to a great 2014.
You can reach us at rockstarprinciples@gmail.com. On Twitter at RCKSTRPrincipal. You can call us or text us at 267-58-ROCK1. Any other ways you can get a hold of us?
I hope not, because we don't have any privacy anymore. All right, we'll see you next time on the Rockstar Principles podcast.
And now a word from our fake sponsors. But we'd really love if they were our real sponsors. Seriously, we would love it.
Is it better to be more reliable or less reliable?
More reliable.
Why?
So you can keep your New Year's resolution.
A New Year's revolution? Oh no. What are you going to do?
I would have more jelly beans this year.
Oh, so it's not much of a revolt, more just like you eating things that are bad for you.
Yeah.
Okay, I can deal with that.
It's not complicated. More reliable is better. Happy New Year from the nation's most reliable 4G LTE network.
Who are the people in your Twitter hood? In your Twitter hood? In your Twitter hood, yeah. Who are the people in your Twitter hood? The people that you see on Twitter each and every day.
Very nice.
Well, you might not see these people yet, but you will be.
So for this go around on Twitter, our Twitter hood, we're gonna talk about a couple of people that we've been interacting with. That either follow us, we follow back, as usual. People that have some insightful things to say that we think you should check out. So I'm gonna start it off and talk about our friend Traci Logue. Traci's Twitter handle is @fearless_teach. @fearless_teach. And Traci has a lot of cool things to say that she talks about, in addition to following us and retweeting some of the things that we say. But she also has a blog that she does. It's at teachfearless.wordpress.com. Pretty cool, inspirational stuff to check out if you get a chance. So,
and she's also she's very active in the Twitter chats, a lot of the educational Twitter chats.
Yes, absolutely. So thanks to her for following us, and check her out if you get a chance.
Another one, my choice for today, was a big follow that we had received recently, and it's at Michele Borba, MicheleBorba. Michelle's an author. She's written about 22 parenting books. She's also a psychologist. and she's a contributor to the Today Show, amongst many other media outlets. So we're happy to get that follow, and we're happy to give her a shout-out. And her website as well, where you can see a lot of her blog posts and information about how to buy her books at, the website is micheleborba.com.
Very cool, very cool. And thanks to Michelle for following us on Twitter. And what's our third one? Is our last one?
Our last one's our joint one. And as you've heard, our second most popular podcast ever was with the globally known and recognized counterterrorism expert, Alon Stevie. And we'd like to reference his Twitter, his newly created Twitter account. He's got a lot of followers and a lot of a push on Facebook and from their website. But he's new to the Twitterverse, so he needs some people to follow him. And that is at ACT Alon Stevie.
You want to spell that? Just to make sure people... ALONSTIVI.
So
the whole Twitter handle, ACTALONSTIVI. Do us a big favor and give Alon Stevie a follow. He's got a lot of great stuff to say, a lot of great things that he posts, and talking about school safety. And if you listened to that episode, hopefully you have. I know it was one of our more popular ones, as Nick said, and there's a lot of great information. So give him a follow on Twitter. We'd appreciate it. I'm sure he would too. He's a great guy, and I'm sure you'll get a lot from it.
Yeah, he wants to keep you safe, and you can't ask for much more than that.
That's right. Absolutely. Anything more from our Twitter hood?
No, I guess now it's back to the regularly scheduled program.
We will now resume the podcast.
Thanks for helping RSP top the charts in the Edu podcast world. Keep it real with Twisted Steel and School Appeal.